This meaty pie keeps us going on a long day out. It has a traditional samosa filling packed into a delicious hot water crust pastry.
Twice a year, during the celebrations, we always go to my mum's, and in total, I think we've made easily 3,000 samosas in one sitting. So my mum makes a massive pot of the filling, and then me and my 3 sisters will sit down and we have like a production line. So we all have our own roles, but 3,000 samosas makes more sense just to make one big pie.
Add garlic granules, ground ginger, cumin seeds, and chili flakes for warmth.
Just keep stirring it around. The drier this is, the more it kind of cooks out, the more flavorful it's becoming. Until, of course, it starts to burn.
Add lamb mince to the onions. Once the mince is browned, chuck in the potatoes.
I'm going to turn the heat right down. It doesn't take long, but you've got to kind of trust that in enough steam and enough heat, the potatoes will cook.
Frozen peas are perfect for this dish.
There's a little bit of excess moisture in here. So, just to kind of combat that, I've got 2 tablespoons of corn flour and then a splash of water. I love the magic of corn flour. Like, as soon as I've added that, it's kind of, everything's just gone, and like no moisture left, which means hopefully I won't get a leaky pie.
When it's cooked, stir in fresh coriander and leave to cool while you make the pastry.
So my samosa filling is traditional, whereas my pastry is the bit where it's not traditional anymore. Traditional in a picnic pork pie, but not in a samosa for a picnic samosa pie. You with me? It'll work.
For the pastry, melt 65 grams of vegetable fat into hot water. Mix 265 grams of plain flour and 55 grams of bread flour with salt and turmeric. Then mix the wet and dry ingredients.
Look at the colour of that dough. So roll the pastry out to kind of like a rough sausage. What's really important with this pastry is that you have to work with it straight away while it's still warm. The colder it gets, the more brittle it becomes. You can still use it. I mean, I've learned a way of, if it gets cold, zap it in the microwave and it'll warm it up. Fine. So I'm rolling out enough so it just goes up the side, so halfway up the tin.
Use the rest of the pastry to make the lid.
So now, time to fill this pie.
Brush the edge of the pastry with beaten egg and put the lid on. Make sure you press down firmly on the mixture. Crimp the edges however you like. There are no rules. Make a slit in the top to let the steam escape as it cooks.
There's that kind of proud moment when once you've done the filling and then you've done the pastry case and then just like that last little finish of egg wash. I feel like a proud mother. I could just glaze this all day.
Bake for an hour at 200 degrees.
So that's completely cold. And this is where having the loose bottom tin makes it very easy. It should just slide off. Look at that. Look at that. How can you not be proud? That's like a proper pie. And this is the kind of pie that says, I love you. I know 3,000 samosas says, I love you, Mum. But this pie says, I love you. And this is going to make any picnic turn into a bit of a banquet.
Samosa pie, something to look forward to in the picnic hamper. Kati rolls are traditionally made with flatbread and filled with spicy grilled meats. But we love them with spinach and paneer. Delicious. Start with 2 eggs seasoned with a pinch of salt.
Just give them a whisk. And it's really important to do them on a really flat plate, so you've got lots of room.
Coat the tortillas in the egg mixture.
And this is like any eggy bread. You know, the longer you leave it in the egg, the kind of gooier it becomes. So while I leave my tortillas to absorb all that egginess, I'm going to make my filling.
Cut a block of paneer into 1 centimetre cubes.
And if you want to make a really good spinach and paneer, don't forget this bit. This is so important, to fry the cheese off. If you can't find paneer, you could use chopped up halloumi as an alternative. So I'm going to leave that to fry for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to get started on my spinach.
Pop 150 grams of spinach in a blender with 150 ml of water. Then blitz.
That's it. So I'm just going to put them on a plate to drain.
Turn the heat down and add 4 cloves of finely chopped garlic.
So I've whacked the garlic in the same pan. No need to use 2 pans. Anywhere where I can save up on washing up, I'm a happy girl. Whenever you buy street food in Bangladesh, there's no such thing as one person doing everything. There's a guy with the samosas, there's a guy with the pakoras, there's a guy with the Kati rolls. And so everyone is really good at what they do. So you know when you go pick up a Kati roll, you know it's going to be the best.
For depth of flavour, add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds and half a teaspoon of chili flakes. And pour in the spinach.
Straight in. Look at the colour on that. Just going to season it. So I can see already it's reducing really quickly. It does not take long at all.
Stir the paneer into the spinach. Leave to simmer, and now it's time to fry the tortilla.
My tortilla has soaked up all that egg. That's going to be yummy.
Cook the tortillas until golden.
The first one is always for me. There you go. Check this out. And that's what I love about a Kati roll. You got gooey and crispy and soft all at the same time. I'm going to take that out quickly. Now for the paneer. Look at that. You're going to eat these while they're really hot. Crispy, eggy tortilla with cubes of creamy paneer coated in that gorgeous garlicky spinach. You see, fast food can also be a bit of a treat.
Spinach and paneer Kati rolls. Simple, delicious, and a treat any time of day. Chaat is a popular street snack in Bangladesh. It's crunchy, sweet, tangy, spicy, and totally delicious. Just what's needed when there are extra mouths to feed.
When I used to go on our trips to Bangladesh every year, we used to spend afternoons kind of walking from one vendor to the next, tasting it. I used to challenge my mum and say I could eat it spicier than her. She would always win because she can eat really, really spicy chaat. So this is my way of making chaat that I love so much. It's not quite Bangladesh, but it's not far off. It's pretty good.
My chaat has 2 sauces. For an easy mint sauce, mix 200 grams of mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and the same of dried mint.
Now, there's no way I can put the top on that and squeeze that mayonnaise out without a little bit of a fight. What I want is a sauce that I can squeeze out so it's a little bit runny. So I'm going to add a bit of milk. That sounds about right. You know you've all squeezed some sauce out of a bottle. You know what you're looking for.
The tamarind sauce is even easier. Mix together 200 grams of tomato sauce and 4 teaspoons of tamarind paste. And now for the extra bits to throw into the bag.
I have never had a chaat where there is no onion. Always, always onion. I mean, I don't like super spicy food. This is why something like this works perfectly for me, because if I ask my husband to make mine, it will blow my head off. The coriander, the chilies, the onions, they all feel very traditional. Just to make it a little bit different, I've got some roasted salted peanuts and I've got some crispy fried onions. That is the making of my chaat. That's it. All I have to do now is actually show you how I make it.
I like to use tortilla chips, which are my kids' favourite.
It's the fun bit. Makes me feel like a street vendor. What would you like, sir?
Throw in all the toppings.
Love coriander.
And finish with loads of sauce.
And you need a fork for this. Just when you thought crisps couldn't get any better, they just did.
My chaat in a bag, a favourite with everyone.
We are a family of chip lovers, so I'm always looking for new ways to reinvent them, and this is our new favourite, Furikake Fries.
There are all kinds of chips out there, but these are really special. Perfect for when you have something to celebrate with family. And trust me, they won't stay on the plate for long.
So I'm going to put the potato in the water. You can see where the water's gone really cloudy. That's all the starch coming off the potato. And that means the crispier your fries are going to be.
After a few minutes sitting in the water, drain them and use a tea towel to dry them off.
So I'm going to leave those to dry.
For the sticky bit, I mix together 2 tablespoons of honey and fish sauce for a salty hit.
And then a tablespoon of oyster sauce. And now for the sprinkly bit. Oh, this bit, it took me so long to get this bit right, but I've done it for you. I've done it just for you. These are like seaweed sheets. If you've ever had sushi before, these are the kind of sheets that you'd see kind of wrapped around your sushi.
Just rip them up and drop them into a food processor.
Doesn't feel like cooking. It feels a little bit like I'm doing arts and crafts.
Then add 6 tablespoons of garlic granules, chili flakes, and white and black sesame seeds for a bit of zing and colour.
Look at that, just that. How can that not make you happy?
It'll just take around 3 minutes for each batch of chips to be a crispy golden brown.
So these are ready to come out. Look at that. Still crispy, yum. And then the seasoning. Just sprinkle that all over the top. I only have to say the word furikake in my house and the kids are like... Onto my bowl. Oh no, look, there's some on the board. I can't possibly go back. Oh my God. If there's one thing I love, it's Furikake Fries and my kids. And in that order.
Invite your family over, make up a load of these, and I promise you, they are never going to leave.
I love having a freezer full of homemade savoury snacks, and this is a really good recipe. You can make it in advance, make loads and stick them in the freezer and just pop them in the oven when you're ready to eat them. This is my not prawn toast.
My delicious not prawn toast is a simple but impressive snack. It's called not prawn toast because I use chicken instead. You have to trust me on this one.
So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got some chicken breast and I'm going to stick that straight into a food processor.
I've got 450 grams here, and you could use chicken mince instead if you like.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Next, crack in 1 egg, add a clove of garlic, a teaspoon of chili flakes, the same of ground coriander, and some fresh coriander.
And then I'm gonna add a good pinch of salt, blitz. Whenever I order Chinese takeaway, gotta order prawn toast. I tried to make it once. So I ordered just a little small punnet of prawns and I made maybe 2 bits of bread. Prawns are really expensive. And I've got 3 kids, I've got a husband, I've got a family. I mean, like, when we get together, there's 24 of us. That's really expensive, that breaks the bank. So I thought, you know what, I've got to find an alternative. And chicken, I mean, if you blitz it enough and you don't tell anyone, you could almost get away with it being prawn. But it's not, it's chicken, it's cheaper. So I'm using white sliced bread. No other bread will do. The best thing about using chicken is that I can be generous. When I was making it with the prawn, I was being so stingy.
Spread the chicken mixture out evenly and right to the edges.
Growing up, whenever we had a cup of tea, it was always with a samosa or something savoury anyway and hot. So this just kind of sits alongside in the freezer with all my samosas and my pakoras. So if you ever turn up at my house, you might get prawn toast with tea. And this is the bit that makes it homemade. Normally when you buy prawn toast, it's got white sesame seeds on top. But I'm doing a mixture of white sesame seeds and black sesame seeds because it just looks so cool.
Take each slice and drop it into the sesame seeds, making sure you get a good covering all over the chicken.
Perfect. Look at that. So I want to fry these really quickly, but I don't want to burn the seed, so I've got to be a little bit careful with the oil. And they go sesame seed side down. Oh my God, there's something about fried bread that makes me very happy. The hardest bit now is making this and try and get any of it in the freezer, because once that's out, I've got to eat some of this.
It'll only take a few minutes for the chicken to cook through. Then flip the toast over.
It's literally just like a minute on that side. And that'll soak up a little bit of the oil, not a lot of it. Perfect, they're done. The best thing about these, especially when you make them at home, is that there's no waiting around for a Chinese takeaway. You get to eat them straight out of the frying pan. Crispy fried bread, lightly spiced chicken, not prawn, and that nutty sesame seed on top. That is so much better than a Chinese takeaway. Now all I've got left to do is fry the rest of them for the rest of the week.
They're easy to make and can be heated up from frozen in minutes. The perfect quick snack for those full-on days.
Sometimes I get a text message from my brother saying I'm on my way, and I can have this made, ready, and on the table by the time he arrives.
This is my avocado and radish ceviche. Traditionally, ceviche is where the acid from citrus fruits is used to cook fish. But for mine, I'm using the acidic lime juice to cook radishes. Throw 200 grams of sliced radishes into a bowl with a sliced red onion.
And then I've got some dill. I love dill. Dill is one of those kind of slightly underused. I think we don't use it enough. Chop, chop, chop.
And now for the citrus hit, the juice of 4 limes, enough to coat all the ingredients.
So the acid in the lime, effectively all it's doing is cooking the outside of the radishes, the onion, and you know that it's doing something because it softens everything up. I think it's magical. I think it's great the way you can add 2 completely fresh ingredients, no heat, and then that bit of science happens. I love that little bit of science.
To balance out all the acidity, I add 2 teaspoons of sugar.
I mean, look, how good does that look already?
Leave it to one side and get on with mashing up the avocado.
Just scoop out the innards.
And here I need just a little more lime juice.
Just gonna add a tiny bit of that juice in with the avocado, and this would just stop it from going brown. So if your avocados are a little bit less than perfect, a little bit bruised, this is a really good way to eat them because you can just mash them up and you can't even tell.
Add a little olive oil to the radishes, give it a quick stir, and then drain off the excess liquid. You can throw this whole dish together in less than 20 minutes.
Nice and crispy.
Making it perfect for unexpected guests.
I'll grab lots of my avocado. See, if I gave this to my brother, he'd take the whole plate and say, "Where's yours?" So a good sprinkling of black pepper. Crisp, fiery radish, and then that zing of the onion. Got the lovely avocado underneath. That looks $1 million. If you're going to spring a visit on me, you are not going to be disappointed.
If you've got visitors on the way, expected or not, this is a great snack that won't fail to please.
Risotto cooking is designed for the weekend. All that stirring takes time. I love a traditional rice risotto, but sometimes I want something a little bit nuttier. And this is where my Bulgar wheat risotto is perfect.
It's nutty, it's rich, it's luxurious, and it's an absolute hit with my family. It really is a little bit special. Like any good risotto, I kick off with a large helping of chopped onions, but then comes my twist.
I'm gonna burn the onions. Ooh, and it's completely intentional. I'm not mad. If you just give your onions enough time to soften, to caramelize, you get the best out of them. There is nothing worse than an undercooked onion because it doesn't actually do anything for the dish. You've got to cook it down. It sounds like an insane thing to do, but it's not just about the flavor, it's about the color. As you can see around the outside, it started to go a really dark golden brown. That's perfect. It needs to go further than that.
Once they are browned, but not burnt, season with salt, and while it's still really hot, add some cumin seeds. Drop to a low heat and pour in the nutty Bulgar wheat.
It looks like a dish gone wrong.
Now add hot fish stock.
So very similar principle to risotto. One ladleful at a time, let the moisture cook out.
The great thing about using Bulgar wheat is the extra layer of flavour it gives the risotto. But
the biggest difference with the Bulgar wheat risotto and a traditional rice risotto is that you don't get that lovely creaminess that you'd get. But I have found a way of fixing that. Good old mayonnaise, straight out of a jar.
But it has to be with plenty of garlic. 3 cloves.
Yep, I'm gonna add all of it. Every last bit, and I don't feel a pang of guilt.
For the perfect silky smooth risotto, I use 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise to 250 grams of Bulgar wheat.
That's lovely and creamy and rich. And before I serve that up, I'm gonna make some crispy squid to go on top. I mean, who thought to eat a squid anyway? Who thought, let me just take this thing out of the sea and eat this? It's a bit weird, tasty though.
It's then a case of coating the squid in a mixture of seasoned flour and paprika and frying them in really hot oil. They'll just need a couple of minutes each side.
Yeah, looks good.
My kids love them.
Perfect, that's it. So, time to plate up. Look at that, that's hot and creamy and that's a perfect texture. Bit of rocket on top. And then that crispy squid. I'm gonna take all the really crispy bits. What's not to love? Bulgar wheat risotto with that creamy garlic aioli and crispy squid. I'm not gonna wait any longer.
The perfect dish for those wind-down weekends when there's no need to rush. My wheat escalopes with hazelnut mash is the perfect meal to treat that unexpected guest. An impressive, tasty dish that's easy to make. As with all good mash, I like to start by adding lots of butter and a good helping of salt.
So whenever I make mashed potato, I'll let you in on a secret. Ready-made mayonnaise. Remember, mayonnaise is eggs and oil, so that's really rich and creamy. It just tastes so good. And then chopped roasted hazelnuts. Ah, that smells good. So I'm gonna pop the lid on, make sure it stays warm, and I'm gonna get on with my onions.
This is a really quick pickle. Start by slicing a couple of onions and get them straight into a pan.
And then I've got apple cider vinegar. And I'm just going to pour a load of that in till all the onions are kind of covered. And then whack it up on the highest heat. Sometimes when I make a meal, I'm kind of missing that tartness. And that's a really good way of getting that lovely tartness very quickly. That's boiled up. So all I'm going to do now is just turn it down and let that gently just simmer away. And my kids love breaded chicken. There was one day when I could not find any breadcrumbs in the house. I had no bread in the house. And it was one of those things where I was like, right, I'm kind of halfway through making dinner and I need breadcrumbs. What do I use? Wheat biscuits, of course. Like, cereals are not just for breakfast.
Now butterfly your chicken breast by slicing through the middle.
Then open it up, kind of just push it down.
Cover them and give them a bash with a rolling pin to thin them out.
That'll wake the neighbours up. Right, that's my chicken flattened.
Season both sides of the chicken generously with salt and cayenne pepper.
And then I've got my wheat biscuits. So I like to crush these. These are the bits at the bottom of the bag that my husband loves.
Drop the chicken into the beaten egg and then coat both sides with the crushed wheat.
My brothers would love this, and my little sister. And my brother-in-laws. And my nephews. And my nieces. I think they'd all like this. Isn't it great how it went from a breakfast cereal to suddenly breadcrumbs?
Fry in a pan with some oil, and when they are crispy on one side, flip them over.
Turn them around. Boy, look at that. Lovely and golden. So I'm just going to add a few knobs of butter. The butter's just going to make it a little bit richer. If someone's coming round, expected or unexpected, I always want them to think that, like, I love them and I care about them, and I can only show that in my cooking and through hugs and kisses, but also through cooking. So I have a few extra knobs of butter. Pop on my bits of chicken. I don't know if I'm more excited to eat this or just feed someone. Wheat escalopes with my hazelnut mash and a quick pickled red onion. Simple but impressive. Not a bad way to feed an unexpected guest.
These take no time at all to make, and when my sister and her kids rock up, they always love the crunch of the chicken and that little kick of cider vinegar in the pickle. My fruit salad fattoush, a great way to use up any fruit at the bottom of the bowl. Fattoush is a Middle Eastern salad topped with crunchy croutons made from toasted flatbread. My version is great for breakfast.
So I've got some tortilla wraps left over from the kids' lunch boxes. Now you can make these as big or as small as you like, but I like a little bit of that crunch with every mouthful. So I've got these chopped up, got my pan on, whack a load of butter in there. You know what? Let's just use the lot. So spread out my chopped up tortilla, and then I'm going to pour my butter all over the top. Best thing about a salad like this is that you never really make the same salad twice, because you just don't know what you're going to have left over. It transforms itself every single week.
Mix together brown sugar, cinnamon and a pinch of salt and sprinkle over the tortillas, making sure everything is coated.
These are actually really good, not even toasted.
Pop the tray into the oven for 10 minutes at 180 degrees.
So now onto the fruit salad bit. So I like to mix my fruit salad up. It literally is a case of what have I got? And when I say what have I got, I don't just mean my fruit bowl.
Every time I have some leftover soft fruit, I pop it into a freezer bag. Nothing goes to waste.
When I've got a decent amount of fruit, I can use it for something, whether it be jam, whether it be fruit salad, whatever. So I've got raspberries and blueberries in here. Whack those in there. And I've got dried pineapple. My kids love dried fruit.
Roughly cut the dried pineapple. I use scissors, much easier than a knife.
And I'm adding my dried fruit next because I've got the moisture from the frozen fruit as it's defrosting. It's gonna start rehydrating that pineapple. Now, in my house, we're lucky if we've ever got strawberries left over.
But sometimes the kids leave the bruised fruit.
Well, when you're putting fruit in a fruit salad, nobody really sees the bruises and the kind of knocked bits, not the shiniest, like supermarket perfect strawberries. It's all going in a salad. And as my mum always says, it's all going in one stomach, so who cares? I used to tell my kids a little lie. I used to say that when fruit goes brown, it's turning into chocolate.
Any fruit that has seen better days can go in.
Because I don't have any apples or bananas or fruit that's going to go really brown in here, this can sit in the fridge. And I think that the longer it sits in the fridge and the more those juices come out, the tastier it becomes.
Some overripe passion fruit and a sad, lonely orange are a perfect addition.
They were not making that sound before. That is the sound that says they're ready.
These will keep for a couple of weeks.
Oh no, one fell into my mouth accidentally. Whenever I make a fruit salad, I always put a bit of parsley in. I think herbs have this ability to take something that tastes good and it just kind of lifts it to make it taste out of this world.
Finally, add some sunflower seeds before mixing it all together.
There's no need to be gentle. I'm just kind of with my spoon going in, and the more you kind of toss it around and move it around and bruise the outer edges of the fruit, the more juices that you get. And that's it, that's done. I wish you could smell this. It smells like a perfume. It's, But it's not a fattoush yet, not till I've put my fattoushy bits on. My husband always tells me that I make something out of nothing. Sometimes it just works out.
Fruit salad fattoush. It's a little bit of magic conjured from nothing.
I always seem to have a spare avocado knocking about in the fruit bowl, and I've always got some pasta in the cupboard and peas in the freezer, and this is where this recipe came from.
My avocado pasta with peas and mint has probably the easiest sauce that I've ever made. Hardly any cooking required, just blitz the sauce ingredients in a blender.
First thing I'm going to do is get my linguine cooked. By the time the linguine is cooked, this pasta sauce will be made. In fact, I'm going to race the linguine. I reckon I can get the pasta sauce made before the linguine is even cooked. I've got my avocado. I'm just going to cut that in half. Ooh. So for this, you want a perfectly ripe, really soft, smooth avocado. And that's usually where my avocados end up, because I buy them with the best intentions, and then they just kind of sit there, and I'll eat half on a piece of toast, and the rest will just kind of sit there. And this is really good if you've got an avocado that's really, really ripe and even a little bit brown. It doesn't matter.
Drop the avocado and 2 cloves of garlic into the blender. Then melt 2 tablespoons of coconut oil.
So I'm going to add the zest and juice of a lemon, and this is going to make it really zingy, really fresh. You want to get the juice of that lemon in straight away, otherwise the avocado is going to start going brown. I can't believe I'm competing with my linguine. Oh, come on. Like linguine takes what, 7, maybe 8 minutes? definitely going to finish this before this linguine's done.
Add in the melted coconut oil and 6 leaves of fresh mint. Season with a pinch of salt and blend until you get a smooth paste.
Oh, got it. Okay, so it looks a little bit thick and I want it to be thick enough to coat the linguine, but not too thin. But it does need a kind of a splash of water. So if you find that yours is a little bit thick, add a splash of water and then lid back on and then give it a quick whiz. That's better. Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, there you go. It's a bit, it's a little bit faster. So that's my avocado sauce done, my linguine done. Not bad, right, for bits that I found lying around in the kitchen. I know it might seem a little bit unusual, cold sauce, hot pasta, but as soon as I start to mix it in, that's just gonna warm that sauce through, so there's no need to cook it.
Add defrosted frozen peas and mix into the sauce.
Can you believe it? All from bits lying around the house. And my dodgy avocado that's always in my fruit bowl. I'm not quite done yet. I've got one more trick up my sleeve.
I always save any leftover chilies and pop them in the freezer. Grated, they give an extra spicy kick.
You can take that bit out, but I like a little bit of a spicy hit. Somehow, that is even more satisfying a meal, knowing that I've kind of conjured it up with little bits lying around the house.
Avocado pasta with peas and mint. It feels like a treat, even if it's the last of what's left in the cupboard.